vampire and dragon defeated. Oh, we had our fun. Finished every quest released in 2001. 22 full years of questing, baking a death we cannot do. RuneScape 3 Hardcore Ultimate Ironman, questing through 2002. Welcome back to October 23rd, 2002. We're over here in southeastern Varrock for two reasons. First up, something that actually exists. We've got the fancy dress shop. Oh boy. Hey there. Now you look like someone who goes to a lot of fancy dress parties. What are you saying exactly? I'm just saying that perhaps you would like to peruse my selection of garments. Or if that doesn't interest you, then maybe you have something else to offer? I'm always on the lookout for interesting or unusual new materials. We only have access to the shop. The interesting new materials mostly comes with Hunter. So let us peruse. The fancy clothes store. They've got some interesting things. Chef's hat, wizard hat, a yellow cape, a red cape, some furs, needles and thread to make your own, leather stuff, leather boots and gloves, the priest set, which is apparently actually in here. Who knew? Brown apron, skirts, in all kinds of colors, and an eye patch. Oh boy. And then later, we get the hunter feathers. So that's some interesting stuff, I guess. It's things. Originally, the chef's hats were not in stock, so you still need to go and get that from elsewhere if you want to head over to the Cook's Guild. But that is about it. Might be getting some use out of that later. Although, I think that all the hunter outfits don't actually do anything. We will see. Thematically it looks nice, but inventory space, even if it does something, we probably won't be able to afford all that inventory usage. Then again, could also go in the house. Again, lots of things to consider for the future. We're really still just scratching the surface of the entire game here. It is only 2002. But it's not going to be 2002 for much longer, especially since we're going to start moving along. On October 25th, 2002, there were some hints at the next new skill. Always an exciting time when a new skill is coming. And we get to experience that many, many more times here. So that's exciting. And the next one is going to be pretty nice. Not gonna lie. On October 30th, 2002, we got the Halloween event. Halloween masks spawned on the ground. Pick them up, keep them for a few decades, sell them for massive profits. Stuff like that. Eventually, the holiday events will get a little bit more involved, but we won't be able to do them since they don't really typically come with permanent content. So, nothing we get for this event. On November 6th, 2002, we get the other reason why we are down here in the fenced-off portion of southeastern Varrock. Apparently, there was a bug of some description in here, or something like that. People were getting trapped behind a fence. So possibly you couldn't open the gate, or you got stuck in the gate or something. But there was ways to get out. You either needed to try attacking something or following someone outside the gate, and that would let you free. So you could just escape easily enough. Or you could just wait until the next game update and you will be set free. Also, news post came with a warning to not try to trick other players into getting stuck. You will be banned. Even though it's apparently so easy to escape. Don't do it. Very rude. On November 11th, 2002, they upgraded their Philadelphia servers. The main database server got its memory doubled, now has a total of 2 gigabytes. And the web server, that's also new, is 4 times more powerful than the previous one. So that's all good. Lots of good stuff there. We continue to get more servers, better servers, as the game is, in fact, growing at this point. So that's always a good time. And now it's time for a slightly less good time, which we're going to go experience in Falador. It's a good time for me. At the time, not so much. On November 13th, 2002, mining and fishing success chances were improved. So you had to do less spam clicking constantly over and over again. But they added the fatigue system. While doing things, you get tired. And then you don't get experience unless you fix your fatigue. You can do that by sleeping in beds, which have been added all over the world, or eating some food. Beds being the better choice. And now that you need to go to beds so much more often, and you can't just stick around in one location for forever, some changes were added to make different areas still useful. And more changes are going to be coming, as this is a complex system. But from what I can tell, this is the point where we get access to this staircase down into the Dwarven Mines, where we immediately get attacked by a scorpion. Fantastic. This is going to vastly increase our speed of mining and smithing, since instead of having to run all the way up to Ice Mountain every time, we can just head through Falador and be right by the rocks. So a combination of smelting back in Falador by teleporting there, coming through the mine here, getting to the anvil, we should be able to do a very, very improved mining and smithing loop, which will be nice. And as a plus, we don't need to worry about the old fatigue system. We still need to worry about the current mining and smithing rework. Energy and fatigue and all that business. And we still only have bronze pickaxe, so there's still room for improvement here, for sure. And on a completely unrelated note, all the monsters in the wilderness are aggressive again. After there's the whole change with combat level determining if something's going to be aggressive to you. That was just making the wilderness a little safer than necessary. Not that having some weak monsters attacking you is a huge concern, but with the 3 rounds before you can run away combat system, it did make it more annoying, at least. And isn't that what the wilderness is all about? Just being incredibly annoying. So yeah, a whole new fatigue system. As much as it was pitched as being the counter measure to making mining and fishing so much easier, it was really an anti-botting system. For all intents and purposes. And it was not perfect first go around here. So the next day, November 14th, 2002, there were some changes. First up, a visual change for rocks. You can now see if there is ore in the rocks or not. With the current infinite rocks, there you can always see the ore. But previously, you didn't know whether or not there was any ore to mine. You just had to try and see how things were going. But now, with this new change, you can see if there's ore, and the ore comes back almost twice as fast as it used to. So it's much more visible and easy. And you have a even more increased success chance for mining. But you also get tired now. With a higher mining level, you can mine more. But that's still, you get tired. So you need to get to beds and stuff. With that, they've moved a few ores around. So potentially the original ores that we were looking at were in different locations. We really only have the information from the end of RuneScape Classic as far as what was exactly everywhere. It's much, much better documented than the start. So now all the mines should be what we were looking and thinking they were. So that's good. And also moved some fishing locations and added even more beds. So that's fantastic. So all things considered, with all these changes to mining and all of the fatigue system and everything, you should be getting basically the same amount of XP and ore as you were 2 days ago before everything was changed. It's just more difficult to bot. So that's good. And then the next day, November 15th, 2002, even more changes. Wow. Die, Scorpion. Out of here. Leave me alone. Silver was made easier to mine. It was always a lower level to mine silver, but now it's actually easier to mine. At this point, before this change, it was actually more difficult to mine silver than gold. So that wasn't quite right. Also, the rate of gems from mining was more than doubled. So that's pretty cool. We are still stuck in a whole system here where getting gems is not very accurate to how it would be. But we don't really need gems too often, so we'll be okay. We'll be okay. Also, got a new mine down in Lumbridge with mithril and adamantite. over here maybe, where there's coal and iron now. Not exactly the same mines. And another improvement to the fatigue system. Bread, pizzas, and pies restored twice as much as other foods. Trying to give a little more value to the non-fish foods. Because my goodness, is fishing just the clear winner as far as actual food is concerned. And we're not done yet. On November 25th, 2002, the fatigue cost of mining and fishing was reduced to make it a little less annoying. But to go with this, there were two types of rocks now. There was slow rocks, or soft rocks, with a slow respawn, easy to mine, and give low amounts of fatigue, and a new hard rock, which uses the new less clicking system that was introduced. You can see if there's ore, and it gives you high fatigue, and it respawns faster. So this would be the more attentive system, but with also less clicking. So either way, don't think both of these even survived for very long, so no, don't really need to worry about that. And there were some ideas to implement a similar two types of fishing spots, but it really didn't work too well. So, no deep and shallow fishing. At least not yet. We'll be heading to the deep sea at some point. And that is actually that for the mining rework, essentially. It's a decent amount of rework. And we get to enjoy not having the fatigue system. You had to fix your fatigue by solving CAPTCHAs. And it was just a wild time. Wild times out here. Would not last. Ended up not being particularly effective. Just typing in some words. Anyways, we'll get to it. On November 28th, 2002, people were having problems with the RuneScape Windows client crashing a bunch. So they looked into it, and it was caused by a Windows update. So the next update after that for Windows just fixed it. So update, Windows, problem solved, good to go. Brilliant. And now we're going to go to Ardoin. Start making our way over towards a place. But first, on December 11th, 2002, the new website was brought online. Improvements and stuff. Looking good. Looking great. And now, the big one. We've got a lot, and I mean a lot, to go through here. New places, new quest, and even a new skill. So let's make our way back over this way, past the fishing guild, past, I think there'd be moss giants here. Not too worried about it. And over past the waterfall area, past the training camp. Just go in front of the training camp here. Right along the edge of the world here. Looking great. Where we now can walk across this line into the next bit. On December 12th, 2002, 400 players were banned for various reasons, so they did not get to enjoy the Gnome Stronghold and everything it has to offer, and a lot of other things too, but we will get to that. First up, let's get inside. And here we go. Femi and her boxes are still out here, so we need to talk to her. Hey, too busy? Did we come through here earlier? Didn't get a music track. Maybe we did. Do we have some peculiar reason we need to go here? Maybe I accidentally did it once. Or I guess I needed to come here to... Or did I get agility XP? Whatever. We're in the Tree Gnome Stronghold now. It's pretty great. They got a lot of cool stuff here. First on the list, we've got the agility course. Or one of the 2 agility courses, I suppose. For level 1 agility enthusiasts. And that means we have, in fact, unlocked the agility skill, while also saying goodbye to the carpentry skill. That will be returning later. But I guess they've just decided that the whole instanced player housing isn't going to be happening quite yet. So, a decent trade, all things considered. We get agility. We should be level 1, and that's okay. We're only level 4 because of time travel shenanigans. So now, we get the absolute joy of agility courses. We walk across this log, climb up an obstacle net, climb over a tree branch, walk along a balancing rope, go back down a tree branch, over another obstacle net, and through an obstacle pipe. And all around the course, we got gnome trainers screaming at us to do better. Well, we'll call it encouragement. How do we do that? Hello there. This isn't a granny's tea party. What do you want? What is this place? This, my friend, is where we train and improve our agility. It's an essential skill. Looks easy enough. If you complete the course from the slippery log to the end, your agility will increase more rapidly than by repeating just one obstacle. That is the lap bonus for doing the course correctly. Instead, fucking hell. Instead of just going around the log or the obstacle net or something, which is worse experience. Except for the times when it's not. There are situations where the actual best course of action for training agility is just doing the same obstacle over and over. They've tried to iron that out slightly. Agility is definitely in a awkward position still. That's okay. So we're going to be doing some agility once we are done looking around at everything else that this area has to offer. One thing that should be pretty clear here in the tree gnome stronghold is that there's tons and tons of different trees. Wow. We got everything you could ever dream of, trees-wise. Except for maples, I guess. We got regular, oak, willow down by the water, and over here, some magic and yew trees. So, very fancy. a very solid location for doing some woodcutting. And you can even go one step further and get your fletching going. Sprinkled around the area, we've got flax, and over here we have a spinning wheel. So you can make your bowstrings, use them, make some bows, have a great time. We still can't pick flax because it gives farming experience in 2013. So, yeah. Would be nice though. Would be nice. Maybe once farming exists, we can consider it. But not until then, at least, I don't think. Well, that's okay. Continuing into this area, we've got a cave we can go in. Ain't that fun? Go down in here into a cave entrance. And we can talk to Brimstale. Hey, Brimstale. Hello, adventurer. What can I do for you? Double to the rune essence? Nope, that doesn't exist. You can do nothing. Goodbye. Just remember that a friend of a wizard is a friend of mine. I guess we've technically done rune mysteries. Time travel and all that. Not gonna worry about it. Just going to leave the wizards to their own shenanigans. Over here at the lake, we can do some fishing. Got lure bait spots. Lure bait spots. Fantastic. I guess technically we could get away with fishing here. Yeah, we could. Probably. Get our trout and salmon. Go crazy. Apparently there should also be some cage harpoon and net and bait spots somewhere along this river. We can always just go to any other fishing locations though, so this is fine. One thing that is not in the Tree Gnome stronghold or anywhere else is terror birds. Those don't exist yet, and that's okay. And there's also another animal in here that doesn't exist yet. We are working our way up that way. There's quite a few things to see in the stronghold. Next up, we've got a spirit tree. So this adds to our spirit tree network. We can now go nowhere with this spirit tree because he doesn't feel like talking yet. We need to complete the Grand Tree quest, which is, in fact, here. So, we will get to that. Looking around more before heading up to the Grand Tree itself there. Because, my goodness, there's a lot of stuff to do in there. Let's go head to the northwestern side of this area, where we've got a few things, and a few things that don't exist yet. There's the second creature that's not here quite yet. Tortoises. And mounted tortoises. Nope. Not a thing. What is a thing is this swampy bit here with kingworms and swamp toads. Pretty cool stuff, all things considered. Can get those for all sorts of things. Or perhaps not quite. The Tree Gnome local swamp to the north. Collect swamp tar and swamp toads. So, should be some kingworms there, one would think. Can we pick pickpocketed from gnomes or found on the ground in the swamp. Yep, they're in the swamp. So there may or may not be any swamp tar in here, but there's not anymore, so we can't get it here anyways. That's okay. And then the last main attraction over in this corner is Gnome Ball. Wild, wild stuff, Gnome Ball. If we open this gate here and talk to the Gnome Ball referee, we get some information about what's going on. We unequip weapon and shield by coming into the play area here. This is not that kind of sport. Hello. Hi, welcome to Gnome Ball. It's pretty simple, really. You take the ball from me, charge at the gnome defense, and try to throw the ball through the net using your ranged skill. It's a rough game, but great fun. It's also great for improving agility. So, do you fancy a game? Alright, let's have a go. Great stuff. There are a few rules to Gnome Ball, so it can get... There are few rules to Gnome Ball, so it can get a bit rough. You can pass to the green winger gnomes, then you can make a run and they'll pass back. Otherwise, if you're feeling brave, you can just charge and dodge. Sounds easy enough. The main aim is to leave with no broken limbs. I think you should be fine. Throws us the gnome ball. We've got it. Now we need to try to score. This gnome baller attacked us and took the ball. So now we need to get it back. Our agility is very low, but we managed to pick him up, grab the ball back, and then they stole it again. So we try to steal the ball back. They dodge our attempt. Grab it. We shoot. And we score. That is an achievement. Score a goal in Gnome Ball. Brilliant. Have a new ball. And then you can keep doing this for not very good at all agility experience. Ah, we missed that one. It just puts our range to use. So, have a new ball. There you go. Let's charge forward. Get attacked. They kick us in the shins. We pick them up and shake them until they give us the ball back. He's an agile little one. We are only 4 agility, so we're not doing so hot. Wow, we're having a hard time. We pick him up and grab the ball. Brilliant. We might have a better shot if we stand further away or closer. But not too worried about that either way. And the reward, you eventually can get a gnome ball you can bring out with you. That's not actually available yet, so that's okay. So that is definitely a more awkward way to train agility, that's for sure. I think we'll stick to just the course. Thank you very much. And that is pretty much it for down in the lower section here. So now we need to head up to the grand tree itself. A very, very big tree with lots of gnomey stuff going on. So let's head right in. First person we see is the king. If we talk to him, he's going to send us on a quest. So we'll be back for that later. Instead, we will head upstairs, where we can see tons of gnomes all over the place, all sorts of platforms and different levels. Really is wild out here. They've got multiple stores and lots of things to do. First shop that we're going to go to kind of connects back to what we started with today. We talked to Rometti here. Hello. Hello, traveler. Have a look at my latest range of gnome fashion. Rometti is the ultimate label in gnome high society. Really? Pastels are all the rage this season. Okay, let's have a look. And he sells, as he said, pastels. We've got robe bottoms, hats, robe tops, and boots in pink, green, blue, cream, and turquoise. For all of your fashion needs. Fascinatingly, they fit a human and not a gnome. Probably has different sizes available. He is a high quality fashion kind of guy. So that would only make sense. Don't know how much use we're going to get out of gnome fashion. We will see. I think there's at least a few things that we need that for. And before we look into the other bits here, we're going to head upstairs to the next level and go to another store. Previously, this was on the same floor as everything else. But now, we can talk to Guluk here. Hello. Good day, brave adventurer. Could I interest you in my fine selection of weapons? I'll take a look. This is Guluk & Sons Weapon Emporium. They sell many, many types of things. We got bronze arrows, regular crossbow bolts, oyster pearl-tipped bolts. Used to sell a singular one of those, now sells 0. Wild. Bow, longbow, crossbow, some low-level arrowheads, some axes, battle axes, and two-handers. A lot of pretty much the same things that are sold at the combat training camp. They just kind of copy and pasted it over here. Maybe added the oyster bolt. So, not super useful for us yet. Technically, a lot of these just random piles of things stores might actually be coming in handy much later. We will get to that much later. And then if we head all the way to the very top, we can see a gnome pilot captain guy and gnome gliders, which we will get to with the quest. One of many things here that we can only use once we do the quest. Gives you a lot of motivation to go and do the quest. So that's good. And we are not actually done here. We need to go back inside. Back in the middle floor. Hello, King. Gotta go. We've got the Gnome Restaurant and everything that that has to offer. And I gotta say, it's a lot. If we talk to Aleft Gian Nani Sr. Hello. Well, hello there. Are you hungry? If so, you've come to the right place. Eat green, eat gnome cuisine. My waiter will be glad to take your order. Thanks. On the other hand, if you're looking for some gnome cooking training, this is also the place to be. My son, Lufty, is looking for staff at the moment. And this is the introduction to the Gnome Restaurant minigame. Tied for the first minigame, along with Gnome Ball, with equally stunning rewards of a little bit of cooking XP, basically. Definitely not the most impressive. And it was reworked basically entirely, with new rewards and new mechanics in 2006. So originally, you would just get at it, give the food to the main person, and then you would get your little bit of reward. And then even later, there's even more rewards for Gnome Restaurant. It now also includes a tutorial and make X interfaces on the food, which make it much less complicated. But we can probably look into it, see if we can get anything here. So we're talking to the waiter. They sell the foods that you can make. We got all sorts of batons, bowls of stuff, and crunchies. These are all pre-made though, so they don't work for the minigame. There's wild stuff. I don't think any of these are particularly good as food for us. Of course, we can buy them here, so that's something. Probably one of the best ones would be like the chocolate bomb. Heals up to 1200, so it's definitely not bad. There's definitely worse options that exist. They're really not used as food at this point, really. And that's okay. But we can make them ourselves, too. In an incredibly convoluted cooking system, which all starts with tons and tons of raw ingredients, many of which we can get from Hudo here. We got new stuff like Guyana dough, which is uses for all the recipes here. He is quite the chef. Also have equa leaves, flour, spices, and tons of ingredients. What would not be in this store yet is spiders on sticks. Just store your spiders next to your limes. Makes total sense. Wild stuff in here. And we also have the cookbook, which gives us all the information about how to actually make a thing here. So let's grab the cookbook. Maybe we make something here. I don't think we need to do the tutorial for the Gnome Restaurant, unless we actually want to do the Gnome Restaurant. So we read here. We can skip to any of the things we want to make. Let's make some chocolate chip crunchies. Fill up a crunchy tray with balls of Guyana dough. Heat these briefly in a warm oven. Break up 2 bars of chocolate and mix these with the balls of dough. Next, add a little gnome spice to each ball. Bake the crunchies for a short time in the oven. Top with a sprinkling of chocolate dust to finish. A large chocolate stain covers the rest of the page. So we need dough, 2 chocolate bars, potentially actually need chocolate dust, a little spice, and some more chocolate dust. So we will buy all that stuff here. Try to make some crunchies. Get a dough, get some dust, some chocolate, and we need some spice. First we need to make the crunchies, partially heat them, then we need to prepare the half-made chocolate chip crunchy tray. Originally, you would need to use the ingredients individually, and if you messed up, you would just be left with an unusable pile of garbage that you need to discard and try again. The whole make X interface, where it just lets you do things correctly every time, does make things pretty nice. Then we heat the crunchies again and finish them. And some dusted chocolate for that final touch. And we can eat the chocolate chip crunchies. Very tasty. Very cool. Probably better than the worm crunchies. But it's a gnomish delicacy, so we can't really complain. And along with the food side, there's also a drinks side. Over here with Blurberry and his bar. I think that's why we needed to show up here. We needed to come here to do the bar crawl because this area was added after and was incorporated into the bar crawl. So that's why we already had the music track here. So here we can get some drinks. Got a Blueberry Special, Chocolate Saturday, Fruit Blast, Short Green Guy, which was definitely more of a play on gnomes. Because originally, gnomes were green. Their skin and everything. So a short green guy was a gnome. Now they're just mostly green with their whole foresty look they got going on. So we can buy the drinks there if we wanted them. They don't really give any super impressive boosts or anything, so not really what we need. That's okay. And then the last store works a lot along with the drinks area because you can also make your own drinks. Again, for a small amount of cooking experience, or I guess maybe not. Or there's also that one, Blurberry. Gnome Restaurant, making the food. Blurberry and his drinks. Teaches you how to make the drinks. They serve the drinks. Oh, I don't think that's actually part of the minigame. There it is. Gnome Bar minigame. So yeah. Very similar to the cooking side. You make the things and you give it to him. Later changed in 2006. So here you got the cocktail guide. Very similar idea. Shows you how to make all the different things. Tells you the ingredients, but then not really, because you need the extra finishers as well. Very similar vein here. A lot of opportunities to mess everything up previously. But now, that's okay. We will be coming back to get this. It's going to be a good time for the Gnome Restaurant. And that's okay. Let's head back down. Get back out into the Gnome Stronghold here. And over towards the agility course. I think we should probably drop some of these extra things we're carrying while we're doing the agility here. Not particularly helpful. So, it is now time to train agility. It's going to be great having agility trained. It does a lot for us. Will be pretty cool to do. We need to get many levels here because this is basically the only training course at this point. So we're going to go around and around this course many times. While getting things set up, there is level 5 agility. That is the Falador shortcut, which doesn't exist, and 3 abilities, which come from many different things. Around and around we go. We go around and 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 around, round and 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 round 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 round. And that is over. Climb up this branch. There is 25 agility. But now we're up here, so finish one more time around, and then we'll be done. And we might as well get the lap bonus here. It's a significant chunk of the XP, so that's good. All right. And let's see what we unlocked here. The answer is yes. All right, yeah, wow. That is all the levels for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 quests, 12 quests, and one of the requirements for a 13th quest. That's a lot of stuff. And then we have the medium agility arena, skull ball, moss giant, island rope shortcut, creme de dungeon stepping stone shortcut, edgewell dungeon monkey bar shortcut, watchtower wall climb shortcut, creme de dungeon pipe shortcut, river crossing Alcarid shortcut, felder wall shortcut, Verac south fence shortcut, Yamil agility shortcut, coal truck log balance shortcut, Verac agility shortcut, Eagles Peak agility shortcut, heavy rods, leaping trout, double loot from farmers with 20 thieving, triple loot from men with 21 thieving, double loot from female ham with 25 thieving, triple loot from farmers with 30 thieving, double loot from male ham with 30 thieving, quadruple loot from men with 31 thieving, triple loot from female ham with 35 thieving, double loot from warriors with 35 thieving, Calify King shortcut, Grand Tree Rock Scrabble shortcut, and increased chance of butterfly catching. And these ones are also the grapple shortcuts. So that is a lot of things. Well, what we care about is the Grand Tree unlock there, because that is the level required for the quest. That was released at the same day as the agility skill was. Fantastic. And now we can go look at all the actual places we unlocked with agility. And also the one place that we haven't yet unlocked. So I'm going to go to some agility shortcuts. Very fun. Very exciting. Over this way. Narratively, we are here first, near Brimhaven, to swing on a rope swing over to Moss Giant Island, which is an easy task. Get whacked by some moss giants. Look at a slice of cake here. Wild thing to have on an island. It's a cake island. Why not? Technically, we've been to other places, so feel free to try to figure out the actual order all these things happened based on clues that are available. Yeah, 10 agility to swing over here. Not super useful. It's Probably further from any banks than some other moss giants. Assuming that those ones also exist, but whatever. More places. Over in the wilderness portion of the Edgeville dungeon, we got a new area here. Crossing these monkey bars with 15 agility brings us over to the Earth Warriors. Don't really have many reasons to kill Earth Warriors at this stage, but these exist now. They can punch me in the face. Good stuff. And then we can just run back over this way. At certain points, this is actually a decent training method. 20 XP each. We are getting whacked by giant skeletons and Earth Warriors, though, so not ideal. For whatever reason, the spiders are unaggressive, so that's okay. Over here at the coal trucks, we have a log balance here now. So while getting attacked by bats, we can walk over here, and we're fine. And now we try to auto-retaliate and we can't hit the bats on the other side. Okay. This was level 20. So now we can go between these. Not the most useful. But definitely if we're over here and we want to get over here, it's a lot faster than running all the way down around the fishing guild. Not that we really want to go to the coal trucks, but there you go. It's something. It's something. And now for something interesting. A bit of leftover system. This is the handholds. Originally, there was a handhold in Falador, a handhold in the Barbarian Outpost, and a handhold in Yanil. They were only one way. Into Falador from the west, and out of the Barbarian Outpost, and here, out of Yanil. Nowadays, there's a shortcut tunnel right over here, but the climbing rocks still exist from RuneScape Classic. So we look here, on the climbing rocks, we glitch through the wall, and now we're over here. It only goes one way. It's absolutely wild. I think that might connect back to the whole paper-thin walls that we talked about earlier. Because that would look a lot less weird if there wasn't an area inside for you to go through. Pretty wild stuff, all things considered. And that leads us directly to the last place we need to go. But as you can see, we've got run energy restoration better than ever. There is no run in RuneScape Classic, so there is no run regen rate increase. That is a RuneScape 2 feature, which we're going to be getting the absolute most of. Much better for just a little bit of training. And now, with our run fully refreshed, we will head on in here to the Yanil Agility Dungeon. Get attacked by a bat. Saw a plaque out there. Want to examine that. Something's written on it. I can't read what. Probably stay out of my agility dungeon. It's full of bats. There's a lot of stuff to do down here. Very good stuff. Stuff that we can't access yet. Want to retaliate? What are you doing? First up, we have a balancing ledge, which is level 40 agility, to get over to some Chaos Druid warriors. And a pipe over to some skeletons that was level 49, but it's now level 19. Exactly how you're supposed to get to this level 19 pipe without the level 40 shortcut here is a good question. Because on the other side, we have a level 57 agility shortcut. So, functionally, the requirement for this is at least 40, it seems. In here we can see the zombies from the Wizards Guild. And there is the stairs that lead down from the other building. We can go look at that. I guess we can look at the dungeon from the other side there. So, in order to actually do anything in here, we basically need 40 agility. But that only gets you to part of the area. Also, thank you, Quick Boxes. Heading back downstairs. Perfect. Slash the web. We're doing a terrible job at slashing this web with our dragon longsword. You'd think it would do better. Oh well. Anyways. Running back into Yanil, because that is a one-way handhold shortcut. If you could just glitch through the wall back and forth, that'd be great. That'd be great. Let's pop down into here, where we can see more bats attacking us. Fantastic. That's level 57 shortcut, and down over there is a different path. One thing we need to consider here is the fact that this door is locked. It requires quite the level. 82 thieving to get in here. So 82 thieving, you can skip getting the 57 agility in order to go around this way. But that'll just get you to some chaos druids. Further down below, there's a staircase down to get to another underground section with a level 67 agility shortcut. And that gets you into that room, where you can fight kind of a mini boss guy, Salarin the Twisted. Get some sinister keys to open a chest over there, a sinister chest, and get some herbs. So the whole agility dungeon here is leading up to fighting Salarin the Twisted to get some herbs. And he's a weird one. He's only really damaged with the strike spells. So, wild stuff in there. Wild stuff. And there's been changes to the chest as well, so not that we can get in there at all. That is level 67, we are level 25. So, not quite there. Not quite there. Anyways, that is agility. Now unlocked. There's also the level 35 course that we could go look at. I mean, we can't because it's in a different spot than it should be. Barbarian Outpost should be near Ardoin, is not. But we'll worry about that when we get there. And technically it exists in an area that's nearby a place that exists now at least, instead of way off in the void. So, better. Better at least. But 25 agility was the requirement for the final quest of 2002. The Grand Tree. Gonna have a grand old time. Next time. Goodbye.